Part I of the Acharnians by Aristophanes, translated by Charles James Billson, 1858 to 1932. This Librivox recording is in the public domain. Recording by Expatriate in Bangor, Maine. Part I. Scene: the Pnyx at Athens. Dicæopolis alone. There really is no end to my vexations. My pleasures are too scanty for my patience. I've only had some 4 that I could swear to, while plagued with all the ills that flesh is heir to. When had I now a pure poetic pleasure? Ah, yes, I know what charmed me beyond measure. To see base Cleon, by that lawsuit shaken, disgorging the 5 talents he had taken. That made me radiant. The knights be blessed, they fined the sinner, and the land had rest. But then I've had a tragical disaster, when I sat yawning, waiting for the master, and the man bellowed out, "Lead on the chorus! Theognis!" Fancy what a shock passed o'er us! See how Dexiphius pleased me, who just now sang the Boeotian and bore off the cow? But I'd this year a paralytic seizure, when slouching Charis played the stately measure. Then never since my mother washed me first was the dust smarting in my eyes so cursed as now, when the assembly's due this minute, and there's the Pnyx without a creature in it. They're chattering in the market‐place, and flying in all directions from the scarlet dyeing. The very prytanes aren't here, they'll rush in at the 11th hour, pushing and crushing to get at the best seats, like streams they roll on. For peace they never care. O town of Solon, I'm always very first on these occasions, and take my seat alone and try my patience, and groan and gape and don't know what to do, pluck out stray hairs and do a sum or two. Then, gazing on the fields, for peace I yearn, hating the town and longing to return to my own deme, which never thought of crying, "Buy coals, buy vinegar," nor dreamt of buying. That's by-play to your independent peasant. And so, to tell the truth, I'm here at present to shout and jeer and interrupt the speaking, unless it's peace and nothing else they're seeking. Enter Prytanes, Herald, Amphitheus, and citizens. Here come the Prytanes, at midday too, scrambling for places, as I said they do. Herald. Come forth within the ground that's consecrate. Amphitheus. Has any speech been made? Herald. Who wants to orate? Amphitheus. I do. Herald. Who are you? Amphitheus. Amphitheus. Herald. Not a human? Amphitheus. No, an immortal, though my ma's a woman. Thus, pompously, burlesquing the genealogical prologues of Euripides. I, whom mortals call Amphitheus, sprang from Demeter and Triptolemus, for they had issue Celeus, and he espoused my grandmother Phanerete. Her son Licinus was my honored father, whence my immortal lineage you'll gather. The gods have given me a special charter to go alone and make a peace with Sparta. But, though my godlike nature no pretence is, I cannot pay my travelling expenses. The Prytanes don't give. Herald. What ho! The bowmen! The bowmen or constables enter and remove the obstructionist. Amphitheus, as he is being dragged out. Triptolemus, defend me from my foemen. Dicæopolis. O Prytanes, you do abuse the ecclesia, ousting the man who wants to make us easier, to get us peace and hang up every buckler. Herald. Be silent there. Dicæopolis. I'll not be such a truckler, not till I hear a motion about peace. Herald. The Persian embassy returned to Greece. Dicæopolis. Persian indeed. Ambassadors are odious. I hate the peacocks and the way they toady us. Enter the ambassadors from Persia, fantastically arrayed in oriental costume. Herald. Silence there. Dicæopolis. Phew! Ecbatana! What guise! Chief Ambassador. You sent us, you'll remember, to advise with the great king upon affairs of weight. Euthymenes then filled our chair of state. 2 drachmas each per diem were our wages. Dicæopolis. Oh, those poor drachmas! Ambassador. Well, we toiled for ages. O'er the Caister's plain camping or creeping in chairs, with nothing to be done but sleeping. 'Twas pitiful. Die. And I deserved no pity when I lay out on straw to guard the city? Ambassador. And then they feasted us, and would insist all that we should drink from cups of gold and crystal their strong sweet wine. Die. Men of the city rocky, don't you perceive how all these envoys mock ye? Ambassador. For men are not men, to barbarian thinking, unless they're great at eating and at drinking. Die. No, nor to ours, unless they've 'scaped the gallows. Ambassador. In the 4th year we came to the king's palace, but he was absent on an expedition with all his army and his court physician. 8 months upon the golden mountain seated, he kept an easement. Die. When had he completed his labors? Ambassador. He arose, and marching down, at full of moon returned into the town, and feasted us, and set before us oxen, all roasted whole in ovens. Die. Now a pox on the braggart! Fancy cooking such a fable! Ambassador. Ay, and by Jove, a bird came on the table 3 times as big as Cleonymus yonder. Points to a very stout gentleman among the audience. A kind of gull it was. Die. Ah, then no wonder you gulled us, drawing that high salary. Ambassador. And now we brought with us the great king's eye, Sudartibus. Die. I wish a crow'd fly down, my fine ambassador, and peck your own. Herald. The great king's eye. Enter Sudartibus, a mask representing one prodigious eye, attended by eunuchs. Die. Great Heracles, astounding! You're looking broadsides, man. Pray, are you rounding a headland into dock till calmer weather? Why, round your eye, you've got a rowlock leather. Ambassador. Come now, Sudartibus, to all discover why the great king of Persia sent you over. Sudartibus. Beginny shippy bongo pitchin hollow. Ambassador. D'ye understand him? Die. No, I don't quite follow. Ambassador. He says the king will send us gold at once. To Sudartibus. Come now, say gold again, more plain, you dunce. Sudartibus. No getty gold, you black-leggy Iones. Die. Oh dear, oh dear, how very plain his tone is. Ambassador. He says. Die. We're open to his coarse assertions if we expect to get gold from the Persians. Ambassador. No, we'll get gold in nuggets, that's the sense. Die. Pshaw! Nuggets! You've a pretty impudence. Stand off, and I will test him if I can. To Sudartibus. You, sir, please tell this gentleman, he holds out his fist, briefly and clearly what I wish you to, and if you don't, I'll dye you black and blue. Now, will the great king send us any gold? Sudartibus and the eunuchs make the Greek sign of negation. The envoys then have cozened us? We are sold? Sudartibus and the eunuchs make the Greek sign of assent. They nodded Greek. 'Tis plain they come from Hellas. Ah, but I know now one of those two fellows. It's Cleisthenes, Sybartius' baby. Why do you come to us like this, you gaby? Why don't you shave your beard, you grinning monkey, before you personate a Persian flunkey? Herald. Silence! Be seated! The senators invite the eye to dinner in the town hall. Die. As I'm a living sinner, this is the very gallows. Here I'm puzzling, while the door's never shut against their guzzling. But I will do a deed of might and glory. Where's my Amphitheus? Amphitheus entering on the instant. He stands before ye. Die. Here, take me these 8 drachmas then, and sign a truce with Sparta for myself and mine, for my good woman and the little bodies. Exit Amphitheus. To the Prytanes. Keep up your embassies, you gaping noddies. Herald. Enter Theorus from Sitalces. Enter Theorus. Theorus. Hello. Dicæopolis. Another traveller's tale for us to swallow. Theorus. We should not have remained in Thrace such ages. Die. Not if you hadn't had such handsome wages. Theorus. But the streams froze, and all the land lay under a canopy of snow. Dicæopolis. Why, yes, no wonder. Theognis' play was freezing hard just then. Theorus. Well, all this time I stayed there, gentlemen, drinking with Prince Sitalces. There's a frantic Athenomaniac for you, so romantic in his devotion to you that he'd cover the walls with scribbling like a crazy lover. From the east to western sea, Athens is the fairest she. And then his son, whom we had dubbed Athenian, desired to taste, being very weak and leany, an Ionian sausage from the revels, suing his father to assist the land they grew in. His father swore with many a libation he'd send the biggest army in the nation, and make Athenians cry with hands uplifted, "Why, what a lot of locusts hither drifted!" Dicæopolis. May I be hanged if we're not hocus pocus by all you say, except that one word locust. Theorus. And now he sends you, which I'm sure must charm ye, the false and valiant Odomantian army. Dicæopolis. Oh yes, they've come to eat our victuals for us. Herald. Enter the Thracians, brought us by Theorus. Enter the Thracians, a troop of wretched tatterdemalions. Dicæopolis. Pray, what atrocities are these? Theorus. The host of Odomantians. At a trifling cost, 2 drachmas each, they'll desolate with ravages Boeotia. Dicæopolis. What? 2 drachmas for those savages? You'd have some grumbling from our gallant seamen, the city's bulwark. Oh, my evil demon! It's me they're ravaging. My garlic's gone. To the Thracians. Put down my garlic. Theorus. Stop, you simpleton! They're garlic valiant now. Don't go too near. Dicæopolis. You Prytanes, do you see me pillaged here in my own country and by foreign losels? But I forbid a meeting for proposals about the Thracians' pay. 'Tis most profane, the gods declare. I felt a drop of rain. Herald. Thracians, depart, and 2 days hence return. Now, citizens, the meeting will adjourn. Exeunt Prytanes, Thracians, Theorus, Herald, and citizens. Dicæopolis. Oh, what a salad's wasted on that Tartar! But here's Amphitheus come back from Sparta. Welcome, Amphitheus. Enter Amphitheus running. Amphitheus. Not till I stop running, for I must baffle these Acharnians' cunning. Dicæopolis. Why, what's the matter? Amphitheus. I was hurrying here with truces, when some old Acharnians near got scent of them, tough hearts of oak and maple, old heroes of the Marathonian staple, and they all bawled and bellowed, "Stop, you loun! Do you bring truces with our vines cut down?" Then, while they filled with stones the cloaks they wore, I ran away, and they pursued and swore. Dicæopolis. Well, let them swear. But you have brought the truces? Amphitheus. Ay, that I have. 3 different sample juices. Produces 3 wine jars from under his cloak. Here's one for 5 years. Come, take that and try it. Dicæopolis. Bah! After putting the jar to his lips, makes a wry face. Amphitheus. Well? Dicæopolis. What nasty stuff! I'll never buy it. It smells of pitch and rigging out new galleys. Amphitheus. Then try this 10-year piece. Dicæopolis, tasting it. It smells of malice and shilly-shallying among the allies, and has a powerful stink of embassies. Amphitheus. But here's a truce for you by sea and land for 30 years. Dicæopolis, taking a long pull. By Jupiter, that's grand! The genuine smack of nectar and ambrosia. Most excellent, good. It couldn't make things cozier. It isn't to get ready 3 days' rations, but cries out loud, "Pursue your inclinations." I'll pour libations out and drain it dry, and with these old Acharnians good-bye. I go to keep the country feast of Bacchus, freed from the wars and miseries that rack us. Exit Dicæopolis. Amphitheus. And I'll go too, lest these Acharnians track us. Exit Amphitheus. Enter the chorus of old Acharnians running. Chorus. Follow this way all together. Ask of every one you meet if he's seen the rascal running with his truces down the street. For our city's name and honor, we must hunt the fellow down. Tell me, where's the scoundrel hiding who brings truces to the town? He's escaped, he's escaped, he has bolted and fled. Oh, my feeble old joints for the years that are sped, when I ran with a coal scuttle tied on my back, and was pressing Philus himself all the track. Ah, had I but hunted this peace-bearer then, he'd never have fled with such ease to his den. Now my limbs are growing weaker. Old Lacratides is sore, with a stiffness in the haunches that he never felt of yore. So he's gone, but we must chase him. Never let him laugh and jeer at escaping from Acharnians, though their limbs are old and queer. Father Zeus, gods above, he is treated with those whom I hate and detest as my bitterest foes. Growing fiercer and fiercer, our war never drops until I'm revenged for the loss of my crops. Till painful and sharp to the heart of their lines, like a bulrush I pierce in defense of my vines. But we must pursue and chase him, seek him all the wide world o'er, looking to the plain of Peltae, tracking him from shore to shore, till at length we find the rascal, for I shall not rest content, till at once my pelting gives him death and grave and monument. Enter Dicæopolis with his wife, daughter, and maidservant. Dicæopolis. Speak no word of evil omen. Chorus. Hush! You hear his prayer for silence. He's the very man, I say. Come to sacrifice, I take it. Let us keep out of the way. The chorus retire. Dicæopolis. Speak no word of evil omen. Now, basket girl, step forward once or twice. Wife. Put down the basket, child. Let's sacrifice. Daughter. Please, mother, may I have the spoon to take the porridge out and pour it on this cake? Dicæopolis. Now all is well. O Bacchanalian king, accept with joy the offerings I bring, accept my little family procession, and keep me free from service and oppression, that I may keep thy feast and live in clover until my 30 years of peace are over. Wife. Come, bear the basket prettily, my pretty, with a proper Sunday face. Don't let 'em loot ye of all your gold and jewels in the scrimmage. Dicæopolis. Now, Xanthias, lift up the phallic image. I'll follow with the hymn. You, wife, must now stop to make an audience for us on the housetop. Exit Wife. Dicæopolis, his daughter and maidservant, march in solemn procession round the stage, while Dicæopolis sings the phallic hymn. The hymn. Hail, Phalles, frolic maid of Bacchus, whose wandering crews so oft attack us with many a drunken midnight fracas and theft clandestine. Thou half undoest the ills that rack us with mirth and jesting. For 5 long years I've had hard measure, and now come home with heartfelt pleasure to taste this truce, the dearest treasure to us poor haymakers. No general war shall mar my leisure, nor General Lamachus. 'Tis sweeter far than warlike glory to find your lassie dear before ye, roaming mid Phelleus' olives hoary in still recesses, and tell her all your tender story with sweet caresses. O Phalles, drunken, rattling fellow, when evening cups have made you mellow, rose drops of peace shall chase the yellow from morning peepers. Your shield will hang, where sparkles tell, a home fireside keepers. The chorus rush forward upon Dicæopolis. Chorus. That's a fellow! That's the man! Pelt him! Pelt him! Pelt him there! Beat the blackguard now you can! Would you spare? Would you spare? Dicæopolis, who, leaving his head unguarded, devotes all his care to the preservation of his sacrificial jar. Heracles! What is the matter? Oh, you'll break my little jar! Chorus. Oh, we'll break your headpiece for you, dirty scoundrel that you are! Dicæopolis. Nay, but tell me what my crime is, reverend Acharnian band. Chorus. You ask that, you wretch, you villain, traitor to your fatherland? You who made a private truce and now can look us in the face? Dicæopolis. But you don't know why I made it. Listen, and I'll state my case. Chorus. Listen to your lies and quibbles, wretch, we'll bury you with stones. Dicæopolis. Nay, but not until you've heard me. Wait till then to break my bones. Chorus. I'll not wait. Don't you prate any longer, for I hate you. Greater scamp than Cleon rate you, whom to shoe soles I shall pair, for the gallant knights to wear. I won't hear you. I won't listen while you make a long oration. You have made a peace with Sparta, and must give us compensation. Dicæopolis. Now, my masters, put the question of the Spartans out of sight, and just listen to my treatise, judge if I was wrong or right. Chorus. How can you persist in saying you were right, when you allege you made peace with men who honor neither altar, oath, nor pledge? Dicæopolis. Well, I'm sure those Spartans even we so furiously hate aren't to blame for all the evils that have fallen on the state. Chorus. Not for all, you wretch, you rascal? Do you dare to tell us so freely, flatly to our faces, and then think we'll let you go? Dicæopolis. Not to blame for all our troubles? Nay, I'd show you, if I might. They have been in many cases actually in the right. Chorus. You provoke my soul to frenzy. You're a traitor to the state, if you dare to plead before us for the enemies we hate. Dicæopolis. But if I should plead unfairly, if the people scout my plea, while I speak I'll lay my head down on a chopping block, d'ye see? Chorus. Oh, why spare your stones, my demesmen? Why not pound the loathsome pest? Why not card and comb the fellow to a right rich purple vest? Dicæopolis. How the black coal in your spirit leapt to fiery life again! But, my dear Acharnians, won't you really hear me then? Chorus. No, we won't. We'll never hear you. Dicæopolis. Awful then will be my lot. Chorus. I'll be hanged if I will hear you. Dicæopolis. Dear Acharnians, I hope not. Chorus. You shall die upon the spot. Dicæopolis. Then by Jove, I'll make you smart. I'll revenge myself by slaying what is dearest to your heart. For I have a hostage from you who shall live or die with me. Chorus. Tell me, fellow demesman, what this threat of his can be. Can he have a young Acharnian baby held in durance vile? Or does his presumption spring from any other act of guile? Dicæopolis. Stone me if you like, but I will kill this darling of your soul, quickly learning who amongst you feels the native love for coal. As he pronounces the last word, Dicæopolis produces a coal scuttle dressed in long clothes to represent a baby, and prepares to pierce it with his sword. Chorus, in great agitation. We are done for. Do not kill him. Our own demesman. Oh, forbear. Oh, that scuttle, do not harm him. Spare him, we beseech thee, spare. Dicæopolis. Bawl away, for I shall slay him. I'll not hear you on my soul. Chorus. Oh, mine own familiar comrade. Oh, my noble heart of coal. Dicæopolis. But just now you would not hear me speak a word about the peace. Chorus. Speak it now, and praise the Spartans to the top of your caprice, for I never will prove traitor to my little scuttle here. Dicæopolis. First of all, then, throw your stones down, and I'll spare the little dear. Chorus. See, we've thrown them all away. Now put up your sword, I pray. Dicæopolis. But take care you try no hoax. Hide no pebbles in your cloaks. Chorus. See, they're shaken on the ground, shaken by our dancing round. Now, don't prate another word, but make haste and sheath the sword. The chorus dance round and shake out the stones from their cloaks, while Dicæopolis puts away the sword in the coal scuttle. Dicæopolis. So then, you could at last shake out your breath. Parnesian charcoal nearly died the death through its own deme's unnatural misdoing. It was so frightened that it fell to spewing a lot of coal dust like a cuttlefish. 'Tis monstrous sad men bear such acidish and sour grape natures that they pelt and laugh to utter scorn your decent half and half. And even when I'm offering to lay my head upon a block and say my say, and yet I love my life as well as they. First Semi-Chorus. Why then don't you bring the block out from within and begin? I am mightily desirous to know what you have to say. Speak away. Second Semi-Chorus. Yes, since the penalties of your own seeking, bring here the chopping block and try your speaking. Dicæopolis fetches a chopping block. Dicæopolis. See, here's the block, and here's the little weak, unhappy mortal who was going to speak. Jove! I shan't take a buckler, never fear it, but say just what I think of Spartan merit. And yet I'm very much afraid. I'm versed in the humours of these rustics, always thirsting to hear some quack with fulsome adulation, bespattering themselves and all the nation. What matter whether lies or truth be told? They never know how they are being sold. And then I know your old man, how he gloats O'er nothing like condemnatory votes. And I remembered how I fared one day At Cleon's hands for last year's comic play. How to the Senate House he pulled and dragged me, And battered me with calumnies and nagged me, And spattered me with muddy jokes and sallies, While on my head he rinsed his dirty malice, And swore such waterspouts I nearly died, Draggled and drowned in that polluting tide. So now, before I speak, let me assume Some tragical and beggarly costume. Chorus. Why these twists and shifts, I pray? Why this craving for delay? Get Hieronymus to lend you one of Hades' casques to wear, With its murkily, shaggily clustering hair. I don't care. Or Sisyphus tricks you may try if you choose, But this trial will not admit any excuse. Dicæopolis. 'Tis time for me to take good heart of grace, For I must look Euripides in the face. He knocks at the door of a house at the back of the stage. Porter! End of part one. Recording by Expatriate in Bangor, Maine.